Hi, my name is Tim Gerber. I am the author of this website, Gerber Family of Switzerland. I'm making this video just to kind of give you an idea on how to navigate this website. The It can be kind of confusing for first-time users, but you'll also find that there's a lot of information in here, and information you'd probably never find on your own. So I thought I'd show you a few things. And I'm doing this completely on the fly, so I'll miss a lot of things and I'll stumble over my words, I'm sure. But I want to introduce you to it. First, I want to note that I don't have all of these active at this point. They're just placeholders. I hope to have those updated with real content, including this video. And so you'll see a lot of this right now like that. And this website is constantly being updated. So if you see something that doesn't look like it's up to date or whatever, feel free to let me know. You can always email me through this website, but also understand that we're still working on it, and we'll always be working on it. So what you want to do is just gerberfamily.org, of course, is the website. If you're watching this video, you've already found it. So I want to urge you to go ahead and sign up for an account. There'll be an area up here for you to do that, and it'll be beneficial for you. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you guys can see this a little bit better. In fact, let's just go ahead and go this close in. Okay, so what you'll see is that there's a lot of drop-down menus here. You may not see everything in here. Like if you're not an administrator, you won't see administration in here. But you'll see a lot of these options even as a non-administrator. The benefit of actually logging in, there's not a lot of benefit at this point other than we can contact you to let you know if there's any events coming up, or you'll have an easier way to contact me to update, to help update the website. Basically, you can submit changes and things through that, and so that's very nice. One of the things that you won't be able to see if you're not an administrator is information regarding living individuals. We keep that information private just for security purposes. We don't want anybody's information, private information, getting out. So if you're going to search for somebody on this website, you're going to need to search for somebody who has been deceased. I guess is deceased rather. Anyway. This website also has a lot of information in here regarding my other lines in my family, not just the Gerber lines. So you'll see some of that in there. But by and large, of the 12,000 individuals that are in here right now, most of those are probably related to the Gerber family. So one of the easiest ways to navigate this is just go up to the top where it says his side or her side. And so if you're related to me directly, what you will do is you can say his side, and then you'll find my grandfather listed here. He's deceased, so he'll show up. And then what you can do is you can actually tunnel through his ancestors to find out who, one of yours. So and if you hover over this is an ancestry chart. You'll find information on there, and each one of these are linked, so you can actually go to each one of these individual pages right from here, and or you can of course scroll through. Okay, so this person right here is the last individual that I know definitively is an ancestor. We believe we know further out, but this is the last person. So this is an easy way, just a visual way to be able to kind of thumb around, but maybe you're not related to me directly, and so it might be harder for you to find what you're looking for. So what you can do is just go to the search button and just type somebody's name in. So if I wanted to type in Michael, I'm going to use the early Swiss spelling, Michael Gerber. It's going to come up with a whole bunch of them. And so if you can't find what you're looking for, try different spellings of that person's name. But like this person right here, I'm going to click on that. Disregard some of these things that pop up. or if you hear my phone ringing, you can disregard that as well. So, like this person right here is one of my ancestors, and this is what you call an individual page. You can see it says individual up here. So, what this does is it shows so just some what we call vitals for that person. Vitals are like christening dates, birth dates, baptism dates, marriage date, death date, that sort of thing. So you'll see him, he was christened on this date, so he was roughly born in that time frame. In Switzerland, they don't really record the birth dates. It was the christening date, which always within a few days, really, of the birth date. I mean, there are times when they weren't christened when they're younger, but they were kind of forced to baptize them later, so they would. So, but most of the time, it's just within a few days. So. This is, it'll always show up here the person's information, and if his father and mother are recorded, it'll show this in here as well. If I wanted to look at them, like the father, I would just click on Christian, and then it'll pull up his information. We'll go back down to Michael. And, but if you wanted to see like a snapshot of the family, then you would find what's called the family ID, and I can click on group sheet. All right. And so that'll show Christian, Barbara, and then all the children underneath. And if they have any spouses, you can click on, like this F would stand for a family, but I can click on this and it'll provide that information. So yeah, well, so that's basically how that works. Now you won't see an edit tab on here because you're not an administrator, but that's basically how you kind of navigate through this. And I can go back here and let's see what a family chart looks like. So the family chart will show, okay, Nicholas and Anna have these kids, and then here's Christian and Barbara, and they have these kids, and it'll just kind of scroll, just trickle down. And you can actually change some of these settings, probably not the family sheet. But you sometimes change how many generations are shown on the particular page. So let's see, this group sheet here again is just the text version of that. So we were looking at Michael Gerber. So go back to him. And I want to show you what kind of information that is actually stored in there for each of these individuals if I have it. And again, if you're related to me, or if you have ancestry within the Longnow region, well, feel free to contact me, send me the information. I'd be glad to add it to this website. It's very beneficial in helping everybody find their ancestors and find relatives when you share that information. So, and I will always tag you as the source of that information, so it'll always show up. You can see, I think, down at the bottom of the screen where I will say where I got this information. So if you've done a lot of hard work and you don't want to your work to go unnoticed, I'd be happy to put that information in there. And it also helps me because if I ever have some questions on it, and then I know who to contact. So this information here again is for the individual, and this is for his parents. And then underneath, Michael, like in this case here, has more than one family. He was married to Anna Roethlisberger until she passed away, and then he remarried. So you'll see family 1 here and information regarding that family under here, and then family 2. And so his second marriage was to Anna Steiner. I don't have a whole lot of information on her, and because my ancestry doesn't come from her. But so you'll see here some information, and about the family it says that it looks like they lived at the family called Egg, or not a family, but a farm called Egg. And I've got more information about these places on the website, but any notes that I want to put in there, I'll put it in there. And then all the children will be listed, and if there's a plus next to it, that means they've got families associated with them. So if I go to Johannes or Hans, I went straight to his graphical version of his site here, but I can go back to, let's see. Okay, yeah, so actually on the descendants here, You can do a lot of different things. You can do, a text version of that if it's easier for you to see. You can do a compact version, and then you can change the generations, to show how many. You can go, multiple generations down. So there's a lot of ways of customizing this, but I'm just going to go to the individual Johannes here, and so it'll show, okay, this was his parents, Anna and Michael, and then this is his family, and then you can click on any of these. You can see I've got 3 individuals with more families, and you can just keep on drilling down through that if you want. If you want to get a snapshot of the entire family, just hit family, group sheet or family chart. So I'll just kind of show you some of the information that you might see. Here are like marriage records for Anna and Michael, and this is right out of the Kirchenbuch, which is a church book. It's a Eherodel is it's a register of marriages, and so you'll see Michael Gerber in 17th of March. So it's Michael Gerber and Anna Roethlisberger, both from Long Now. I translated that for you, so you didn't have to do that. And this is a lot of the times these things are written in what's called Suter or current shrift, and current shrift is kind of difficult to read. So, but I like to try to study that, so I can recognize most words in that. The characters are just different. And then this is a lot of times it could be actually in French, it could be in Latin. Those sometimes will be notes in that are in Latin or whatever. And a lot of times if they're notes, they might be in the High German that the Swiss use. So it's just difficult sometimes to read. And I'm not immune to that difficulty at all. But so anyway, I try to include that type of information in here. And this is some location photos. So like on this one right here is kind of an interesting one. It actually is an inscription on the speaker, which is it means storage. It's like a shed. It's really kind of a cool looking shed, but this is a inscription that is around the doorway. It says Michael Gerber und Anna Roethlisberger sin Husfrau haben das Speaker lassen bauen. Which just means Michael Gerber and Anna Roethlisberger had built this speaker, and it was built in 1735. So it's one of the ways we were able to definitively know that he was one of our ancestors. So you can see another picture of it right here. I mean, just by hovering over it, you can get a better view of it. This is the family farm, and so if I have some histories, things like that, I'll put it in there. And again, this is work in progress, so sometimes it's not really. The information's been given to me, but it hasn't been fully validated, or we're not sure on some of the information. And so, I'll put it out there as though, hey, this is what this person thinks. But anyway, so if you have information like that and pictures, things like that you want to put in there, I'd be happy to do that. Underneath, it'll show a map that kind of gives you some information about where these events took place. So, if they were married in one place and they're born in another, or died in another, it'll show pins on each one of these. So you can actually, let me just click on this here. Let me just zoom in. So what I should have done is really link this to Giebel itself, the actual the house. And so you can actually, if you search for Giebel, you'll actually find it. And that, okay, my navigation's kind of working funny here. Let's see here. I'll say this is Long Now here, and Giebel is right there. So I am going to zoom in for you just to kind of show you this fun thing that you can actually do here. So you can take your little guy here, and as long as this is a street that Google has actually driven on, you can drop this guy right there, and you can get a street view of what it looks like in that area. So here you can see the house, Giebel, with some laundry out front, some flowers on the flower bed there, and you can travel up and down this thing. If I zoom in over here, this is where that inscription was that I just showed you. There's a barn over here. Here's what's called a stuchli. Um, and this is usually like a retirement home that is outside of the main the main house. And in Switzerland, especially in this area of Switzerland, they would always pass down the house from generation to generation, but it went down to the youngest male child, not the oldest. And the thought behind it is it actually makes sense in the sense that once the youngest male child is old enough to take over the farm, all the other kids have already left, so there's just one child left, and then he gets to take over the farm, but it's his responsibility to take care of you. So then you would move over into this house here, and the Stuckley, and then they would provide for you in your retirement. But you can just kind of move around. You can scroll around the streets of Switzerland this way. It's kind of a hazy day here, but you can kind of see the Alps in the distance there. These are the tallest peaks of the Alps. And yeah, so there's the speaker there. So anyway, that's kind of fun to do. And Giebel is actually not. There's a lot of Giebel houses, and so Vorder Giebel is our family's house, but there's a lot of houses in that area there. So enough about that. There's more information. I got some photos. There's some documents, some histories if they've been provided for me, or if I compiled anything. Again, notes at the bottom and my sources. So that's kind of an overview of what an individual page would look like. We've already looked at what a family page looks like too. But with the individual, you can also, if there's like media, you can just jump to it just by clicking on that. You can PDF this information, I think, and then you can save it, print it out. If you want to look at ancestors, we kind of looked at that before. It'll show all the ancestors there, and you can kind of change the generations. And if you want to look at descendants, you can go this direction too, by clicking on here and then clicking on one of the descendants. It's actually easier to do from a different page. But anyway, and then again, you can change the style of what it looks like. So it all depends on how you like to read it. There is a cool information, or a cool way well, a cool little tool here, and that is if I were to click on relationship. Now again, if you don't, if you're alive, which you are if you're listening to this, in case you're wondering, you can't actually put your information in here. I don't think that'll work unless you knew your ID. But if you did, then it would actually kind of show you your relationship to anybody else. So in this case here, Michael Gerber is the default person up here, and I can change him right here if I wanted to. But then I can find myself. So I must do a search here. It'll come up with 3 different individuals here. This one's me. So if you want to find out how you're related to me, you can always put me in one of these and then put yourself in another one. Again, if you knew your ID. And then you just calculate. And basically what this is going to do is it's going to show me a visual of how I'm related to that person. And then it's going to say I'm the 7th great, or Michael's the 7th great grandfather of me. So it could say you're a 3rd cousin twice removed, or whatever. People often wonder how that works, and so this is kind of a neat tool to figure that out. So that's what that relationship tab is for. Descendants, this is like the reverse of the ancestor chart, and so it goes the other way. And again, by hovering over it, you can always get more information about these people, but it's just a neat little visual way of navigating sometimes. Timeline, I think this will show you, if I had it set up right, kind of what was going on in the world during this time frame. So that's fun for some people. Again, you can look at their family chart right here. So that's enough about how to look at individuals and their families and some of these tools right here. Let's see what's under some of these tabs. So if you wanted to do a more advanced search, you can just go to, well, you can search entire site right here. But if you knew like a family, if you knew a relationship between two people, or that there was a husband and a wife, you can put that information in there and it'll search for both of them. But if you just go to search people, this will give you a more advanced tool for searching. And so you can say Michael Gerber, and you can kind of say, well, I knew that he was born, between these years, or I knew he was born in a certain location, and then you can always kind of try to search that way. So again, there's a lot of information here, and if you don't know the spelling of something, it might be a little bit difficult because you might misspell something, and then it will block it from being viewed because it won't find it. So be careful how you use this. Don't try to make your search parameters so tight that you can't. Then it won't find anything. Try to keep it as loose as possible. So like in Michael Gerber, if I didn't know if it was Michael or Michel, I could just try Mitch and search, and it should come up with both. It also comes up with Michelle. But so then you can see you can sort by the christening dates or whatever, and that'll help find more people in here. So I probably shouldn't have done this because now you can see some information about some living individuals. But anyway, a heat map is kind of cool because I think it'll tell you like approximately where the concentrations are. And obviously in Switzerland you got a lot of concentration there, and then of course the United States you've got concentration, but not particularly that interesting, I don't think. We'll go back here and go to here. All right, so we've got you can search just by first name, surnames. You can do any of that type of thing here. Places are pretty important, I think. So like as I said, there's if you know like the house name, and I've made that actually a place in here, you can type that in there and it'll show you, okay, here are some different Giebel houses. Forder Giebel is the one we looked at just a bit ago. But yeah, and so you can actually pinpoint on the map. It'll take you right to the location. See, there's Hinter Giebel right there. Oh, I'm always hitting the wrong thing when I'm zooming on these maps here. Anyway, and then you can drop yourself down there and take a look at it more from a ground view. And it has latitude, longitude. Yeah, I'm going to have a whole bunch of Gmail information pop up here in a second. Anyway, okay, let's do some searching on dates. Are the same way. If you want to search for any event between the dates or whatever, you can do that. If I've got any cemeteries in there, which I don't really focus on, you can see those in there as well. And a lot of times if you do cemeteries or some of these other things like places, so I really don't have much for cemeteries in there. Let's do places again. And I don't know, let's try something under W. Vanental. Vanental is actually a I wish I did. I need to probably update that, but it's actually a house in Switzerland. But if I wanted to do Wisconsin, I should have turned off all the notices. I wonder if I can do that now. Well, we'll worry about that later. Anyway, Dane, Wisconsin. Let's just pick that. I have no idea who's there. But it'll show you, I believe, I thought it was going to show us the individuals within that area. Oh, that's not it. Don't worry about that. Let's try. Let's just try Forder Giebel again. Yeah, so it'll show people who are linked to those locations down there, and they can jump right to it. So that's another way of searching for things. If you know the location, type it in, try to, and then go to, then you can jump right to the individuals there. So you can bookmark these pages so you can easily jump back and forth between them. Media, if you want to see photos, documents, you can also just jump right into there, and then you can search for photos. So just type in the name of somebody, and hopefully it'll come up. Remember though that if it's a woman that has that's been married, use her maiden name, not her married name, because we in genealogy research we try to stay with her maiden name as much as possible. Um, that way everything links together to that person. So yeah, sometimes I have headstones in there, histories, anything that I think might be interesting I throw up here. So it might be, you can search any of these items there. Um, I'm not sure why it doesn't have icons here, but let's see. Ship photos. Yep, so I have some ship photos in here. That's kind of cool. Uh, I don't do too much with albums, but anyway, you can search all media right there too. So that's kind of cool. Now, if I just do on info, I'm not sure how much of this is available to a non-administrator, but I think most of it is. So if I do the statistics here, it'll show you how many males and how many females are in here, and how many people are in this database, and so it just kind of shows you the depth of what's in this database right now and what's on this website. So the longest lived person is 104 years and 250 days. And you can kind of look through some of that. Let's see. Most wanted. If I'm looking for information about something, I might throw it up here, but nobody ever goes to it, so it doesn't really do any good. But so I have no idea. Okay, so this is a photograph I have of him. I would like to have another photograph. This is the only photograph we have of him, and I don't think anything else exists for him. But if anybody does have it, I'd like for them to give it to me. So I was saying here that I would love more information about some of these other children, because my immigrating ancestor came from this family. He's not listed here, but I do know this is his family photograph of his sisters and their husbands, and would love to be able to get in touch with some of that part of the family that's in Switzerland. So I put it up here. So yeah, I mean that's just what that page is about. It's just information I might want to have here. What's new is just going to be new stuff that I've uploaded. The site keeps track of that sort of thing. Yeah, well, so that's a general overview of what's on this website. Again, when you go to the home page, there's just things on here that aren't linked to anything yet. Hopefully it'll look a little different by the time you get to it. But if you think of if you're thumbing through this thing and you have anything you want to change, feel free to let me know. I'll give you an example of how that might work. Let's see if I can just get to a person somewhere here. Alright, so again, I should not necessarily go to this part. Okay, so here's a person, and I guess I'll have to log out in order to show you how this works. Okay, so in this case here, if I see something, I go, that's a misspelling, or I have a birth date for this person. You can go, hey, let me suggest that, and I can say I'm not a robot, and then I can put my information in here and say, hey, I noticed that this information is wrong or it's incomplete. Here's a suggestion. It'd be nice if you also put in there what how you know that information is legit, and that way I can say, well, here's how we know this, and I can always put you down as a source of it as well. So submit any suggestions you might have through here, and I'm happy to take all those into consideration. But yeah, so this is what your website would look like as a non-administrator. Again, there may not be everything, and there's still quite a bit of information or options here. So looks like everything's pretty much still available to you. Again, without being an administrator, you're not going to get information on living individuals. So I would recommend do not try to search for yourself. If you do find search for yourself and find that you're in there, don't worry. It doesn't mean that you're dead. It just means that something's wrong with the date or whatever, and that's just it's an error on our part. So let me know if that's the case, but I don't think you'll find that. So anyway, here's one little link. This is an example of what I'm hoping to have up here in the near future. Is just general information. So this is that Vorder Giebel location of the house there, and it's just going to give you introduction, location. That's interesting. I'll have to check that one out. Oh yeah, I know what that's about. I'm editing this page right now. It's not even completed. So I've just doing some editing over lunch, and I put in a wrong API key. So anyway, so this is going to have more pictures of in and around that area, and then I'm going to talk about the history of it. So I've just kind of started that as well. So this is the type of information that I'd like to put up there. If you find anything that you want up here, you think would be helpful to everybody, just let me know. Send it to me, and I'd be happy to consider it to be included as a feature item on this website. If you have any questions whatsoever, just feel free to reach out to me, and I think you can do that. Let's see here. I probably should show you how to reach out to me. Yeah, so you can just do the contact us under the info area, and then then we can start conversing with each other. Or if you happen to know me personally, feel free to email me or call me or whatever, and I'd be happy to talk you through it, or take anything you've got into consideration, and I hope together we can make this site better and better. So hope you're having a great day, and I hope our paths will cross soon. Bye bye.